We'll go ahead and open it up for questions. If you have one, please raise your hand and we will get a mic over to you. We'll start here with Nathan and then go to Deb and then to Dustin.
Nathan Solomon with the podium finish. Kyle, what exactly were you guys battling last week at Indy, and were you guys able to kind of diagnose that this week?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, just broke a valve spring. So not sure what or why or anything like that. There was never a missed shift. There was a couple high revs, but nothing higher than any of the other guys. We had a whole data set from all the rest of the ECR engine. So unfortunately, I just drew the unlucky straw.
And then these last 5 races, really, since Loudon, obviously not been a good stretch for you. Just kind of what's the mindset been this last month, and how do you kind of wipe that going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, the mindset stopped the bleeding. We got to figure out a way of being able to bounce back in races, which we were. We had some good luck on our side, some good fortune. Maybe we used it all up. But, fact of the matter is when things kind of go awry, it just seems to snowball from there. And we're not able to stop bleeding. So that's kind of been our way. We were third in points, 30 from the lead, looking for a regular season championship 7 weeks ago. And now I don't even know where we are. I stopped paying attention because I know it's not good. So don't tell me. But I just know that we need to have a good race, a good solid race. And we were looking for that last week, and I thought we had that. We got, I think, 5th or 6th in each stage. And then we were running 4th in the running order, and I felt like we were lap times comparable to the leaders, probably better than 3rd place. I'm not sure about being able to catch the 34 and the 9, but that would have been a solid day, one that we needed, and just didn't get it.
We're going to go to Deb, then Dustin, and Holly, and Kelly.
Deb Williams, Auto Week. Kyle, this is a off-track question. Parenting has always been a tough job, and when I was growing up, my mother always said, you never know who's watching. But now you have to deal with teaching children responsibility on social media. How do you deal with this with Braxton and eventually with your daughter, and do you go back and show them anything that maybe you did earlier in your career that's still out there to show them how everything stays on the internet?
Well, I mean, there's 2 sides to that, probably more, but yeah, I mean, the social media piece, that's tough. Honestly, I hate social media. I wouldn't be on it if I didn't have to be on it. You know what I mean? So that's just the nature of our business and what we do right now with sponsors and everything else. So as far as teaching our young ones, I feel like Brexton's only 8. He still doesn't really know what it all is or see it. He does ask, how many followers do I have? But obviously his account's run by his mom. So, when that reign gets turned over will probably be a long, long time from now. So we're still trying to decide on when he's old enough to get a cell phone. I say 16. So I see a lot of kids much younger than that getting them, and I don't see why. Anyways, the going back and seeing stupid things that I've done, YouTube is a dangerous place, man. So there is way too much evidence on that site that I'm not going to be able to control. So he'll see a lot, I'm sure. But at one day and age, it'd be funny if he's pulling up videos or seeing videos or whatever, and then he sends me the link and says, "Dad, what the hell were you thinking?" Or "What was this all about?" And then I can be like, "All right, so here's how the whole story goes. Let me tell you." That would be pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll come right down here to Dustin and then to Holly.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Goodyear's going to have a new tire at Bristol. Goodyear's going to have a new tire at Phoenix. Goodyear's looking at a new tire for Martinsville. So that's potentially 2 cutoff races in the championship race. You've been in this long enough where it was used to be years you never touched anything in the playoffs or changed things in the playoffs. So the idea that the tire, especially at these significant races, will be changing or could be changing in terms of Martinsville. What does that mean for you and the thought that there would be a new tire for Phoenix for championship weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just lends itself to those that did the test, right? Having a little bit of a leg up. So whoever was at Bristol and did the Bristol test has a leg up on what that tire is going to look like or be like. Same with Martinsville, same with Phoenix. So, you know, we did all of our posting. Got it. So they're just going to take the Loudon tire that they came up with there that then they confirmed at Richmond. But, yeah, again, RCR wasn't there for any of those tests. So, you know, we're going to have to rely on our Hendrick partners on figuring out that. But, yeah, I mean, variables is what our sport's all about, right? So just trying to find some consistency in that. But, yeah, we'll take it for what it's worth and do what we got to do with it. Nothing we can do to change it.
Are you like the idea of the potential change for Phoenix?
Yeah, honestly, the racing at Phoenix is a struggle already. So if it's an opportunity to make the racing better there, great. I don't know that the tire was really a magic ticket for Loudon. Seemed like Loudon was a dominating race by the 19. So, you know, it just all depends on who hits it anyway. Yeah.
We'll go to Holly, then Kelly, then Chris.
Hey, Kyle. Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. Obviously, you've raced with Hendrick. You've won championships with Joe Gibbs. How do you see your team going down the stretch head-to-head with them, taking Richard Childress and being able to do that? Is there something that you look at and say, we need to do this still? Or, you know, what's your confidence level, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, my confidence is high. Like, I like the group and the stuff that we do and the philosophies and ideas and what we learn and all of that stuff. Like, it's all really good. It's just a matter of putting it all together and having it just run smooth. And that's not due to anybody's fault. It's all a lot of circumstances, you know. Loudon, we struggle. We missed on that one. We completely missed the boat on that one. But then we had a full-fledged effort and work in sim and everywhere else on what we can do to figure out Richmond to not have that same thing happen again. And we had a solid race at Richmond. We ran third. You know what I mean? So there was a playbook there that we were able to get a fix. And that's, to me, not intriguing. What's the word? Just, that's good, right? That was encouraging. Thank you. Yes, encouraging. Great. Thanks. Encyclopedia Bob. But, you know, to me, the struggles have just kind of been the stop the bleeding pieces, you know, just stuff out of our control that kind of keeps happening. You know, which I guess some of it was in our control. Pocono, for instance, we just had really bad pit stops all day, and every time we thought we had an opportunity to jump some guys and get forward a little bit, we had a 15-second pit stop. You know what I mean? So just stuff like that just we can't keep beating ourselves.
We'll go to Kelly.
Kelly, CrandallRacer.com. Kyle, my question was going to kind of piggyback off of that because you had tweeted after Indy last weekend, I just don't know anymore, and I was curious, is it things where you guys know you need to be doing better and you're just not executing, or are there things that you're genuinely not sure that you're doing right anymore? But it sounds like, as you said, it's a little bit of both.
I think that more so came from the frustration of just life in general and luck and karma and whatever all the rest of that stuff is. Like, I just don't know anymore. I don't know what to do to change it. Like, I have no idea. There's all the rabbit's feet in the world and all the four-leaf clovers and everything else. Like, you know, a lot of people say they don't believe in luck. There is luck, trust me. I know. I've been in this for a long time. That we had 4 or 5 weeks where we had really good luck. Like, we stuffed it into tire barriers. We didn't break a radiator or anything like that at the Chicago street race. We came back and we finished 5th. Like, that was a lucky day. Like, we stole one on that one. You know what I mean? So it's just stuff that we kind of burned all that up there, and now we're paying the price for it over here. So it's like, how do you turn it around and get it back heading in the right direction? And I've had talks like this with Kenseth before and Carl before, where you go winless seasons and you just wonder what's not working, and there's nothing that you can pinpoint yourself to. Truex, him and I talked about it before, where it's like, man, you just got to wait. You just got to wait till it turns around, and eventually it'll turn around and it'll be fine, you know. And I guess you look at Truex, you know, the struggles of last year, and then his turnaround for this season. So it's like, they're not wrong, but I'm a very impatient person, and and I'm ready for the results to be indicative to how I know they should be.
I also wanted to ask about, we've gone through now a bunch of road course races this season without the stage breaks. Physically behind the wheel, has that felt any different? I mean, you look at last weekend, we only had the one caution, right? So I'm just curious from a driver's perspective, not having those expected breaks this year, now a couple road courses in, has it felt any different for you?
Sonoma was a little long feeling, but not too terrible. Last weekend, I only really ran half the race. My second half of the race was way off pace, so throw me out on that one. I heard Austin got a little bit smoked last week, though, so not sure if his shirt didn't work or what, but I think it's fine. I think it's okay. You know, it lends itself to the strategy game. It lends itself to not being so hokey on restarts with guys running over each other. So, you know, I feel like there's going to be pluses and minuses to it. But that's the same to be said for oval racing as well, you know. So I'm okay with it.
We'll go to Chris, and then in the middle to Zach.
ChrisKnightCatchings.com. Kyle, to piggyback off of what Holly said, so you feel like you have the ingredients at RCR, being with you, being a Hendrick and Joe Gibbs, that of you know what it's capable to run up front and contend for a championship. You feel like you have all those ingredients at RCR. You just need to execute on all that stuff moving forward over the next 12 weeks or so.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the way. You know, come here to Watkins Glen. They had good race last year. I think they finished third. The Hendrick cars were really good, but you know, if we can piggyback on that, last year they won it at Indy. I felt like we were going to be a third or fourth place car there, so we were going to be close, fine, good, what we need. When you can run top 4, top 3 each week, you know, the wins will come. It just seems to be a lot harder to do that in this day and age with this car and the competition and everything else week to week to week to week. It's a little bit more randomized than maybe what it used to be. But when you're a really good team and you're hitting on it all, like William was for 20 weeks, right? I mean, they were super strong. The 19 was super strong, so it can be done. It's just a matter of doing it.
And then you're back in a Colleague car this weekend. What's it been like driving for Matt Colleague and with being paired with Chris Rice? And do you feel like you've contributed to the organization this year?
Yeah, you know, I'm excited about getting back behind the wheel of the Xfinity car. It's been a long time. I always enjoy coming to the Watkins Glen. It's always been a cool place. I wish, still to today, I still wish I would have won here in Eddie DeHaant's car, that 92 car. You know, that was a really fun race just as a single off, one-off, non-full-time team. And we were trying to pass for the win and spun out. But anyways, probably would have won that if I was older, more experienced. But, yeah, just, you know, having the chance to work with Alex Yance and the guys on the 10 car, they seem to have done a really good job this year. They've won with all of their guys except me, so that's kind of weird. The winningest driver can't win, but no, that's not any fault of theirs. We've just been working on some different packages and some different ideas and philosophies and stuff. So I'd like to think that I've given them a little bit more to think about and a little bit of better ways of going about things, and you know, they've been successful week to week, so that's been pretty cool to see.
We'll go ahead and wrap with Zach.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Kyle, obviously there's never a good time to have a stretch like you guys are having right now, but being that it's not in the playoffs and you're leading into it, what have you learned about yourself or as a team? What have you guys learned together as you try to just work through all this adversity about each other?
Yeah, I mean, just the opportunity of being able to sit down and talk through it. You know, I mean, there's really, like I said, there's not a whole lot we can do to change some of this stuff, you know. Breaking a valve spring, about the only thing you can do is just move your shift markers down a little bit, and we did that for this weekend, you know, just to make sure. So other than that, though, but some of the other extenuating circumstances were just, you know, we missed it loud and some other stuff, right? So just a good group of guys that you know, we're all fighting hard. We're all pulling the rope in the same direction. We're all trying to continue to make sure that we evolve forward and get ourselves to where we want to be. Like 7 weeks ago, if we were third in points, if we could have taken third place points into the playoffs, those playoff points that you get with that would have been phenomenal. I don't think that's achievable today with where we're at, but we're going to go give it everything we got to try to get back up the ladder a few in order to get some of those points, because we know how important all that is when it comes to playoff time, when each round gets reset. So we'll push hard and try to get back on track.
All right, Kyle, thank you for your time and good luck this week.